this would be an exemplar, one of the items in that evidence bag labeled 715, correct? There were several items, but this is one of them. Is that right? It's how the crime lab keeps them separate?
I believe so. I don't know their procedures. I believe so. I know they use alphanumeric identifiers. As I can't testify to their procedures, why they do it, how they do it, or the sequence in which, or the choice in numbers or letters. I have no idea about any of that.
We can have the lights up with the court's permission. We can leave this up. If you could leave that up, Mr. Wolf. All right. You can still see that on the screen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You went out to 34 Fairview on February 10th, 24 hours before February 11th, right? To pick up a piece of, I'm sorry, to look for additional items of evidence, correct?
I collected, I believe, 20 pieces in total, 6 and 14, the day prior, yes.
You see the size of this, according to the ruler. Generally.
Yes.
How big is that? The widest part, that thin.
At the widest part, it appears, if there's no optical illusion with the ruler location, 6 inches.
Okay. That's 6 inches is the size of a dollar bill, right?
That's correct.
Okay. It also looks like it may be more than that from top to bottom, 6, maybe 7 inches, top to bottom. Did you give us an estimate?
Possibly a little bit more, yeah.
Okay. You didn't see this item on February 10th when you were there, correct?
If I saw that item, I would have picked it up.
Right. Wasn't there, was it?
That's not what I'm saying. I said if I saw it, I would have picked it up.
But you didn't see it, did you?
I did not see it, obviously. No.
But according to the information that we just presented, this item was found the next day by Trooper Michael Proctor. Right.
Based on the information presented, that's what it says, yes.
Sergeant, same couple of questions, if we could. Do you see a date of collection on this evidence envelope?
Yes, this photograph indicates 2/18/22.
And collected by whom?
Trooper Proctor.
Full view, Mr. Wolk. Thank you, sir. And then if we could highlight the lower portion that appears to be by the ruler. Do you see the same, I think you called it a lens number?
LIMS, L-I-M.
Okay. The LIM number is the same number, the 22-02184, correct?
Yes.
And the item number in this one is handwritten as what?
716.
Okay. If we can go to the second page, please. Do you see it, first of all, on the bottom, the same item designator number?
Yes, 716.
And what is depicted in this photograph?
A red piece of plastic.
That would be a piece of plastic according to the item number that would be contained in that evidence envelope, one of the pieces at least.
I would assume. Yes.
Okay. Is that a similar 6-inch ruler that's being photographed with that red piece?
Yes, it is.
And how long at its longest point would you estimate that piece of plastic to be?
It's more than 6 inches. I mean, probably 7, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 7.
I know this is a little bit of a challenge, but how from top to bottom, what would you estimate the distance to be at its longest point?
3.5 inches, I guess.
Okay. And then the next page, please, the final page, which would be sub C. Do you see the same designator on the bottom right?
Yes, I do.
That's 716, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Appears to be out of the same evidence envelope, is that right?
That's what's suggested, yes.
And how long would you estimate this item to be?
7.5, 8 inches.
And maybe, 3 inches tall? 4?
Yeah, 3.
3. Okay, we can have the lights up, Your Honor, with the court's permission. Again, the last time you were out at the location with very little snow on the ground, you collected certain items of evidence on February 10th, correct?
February 10th was the last time I collected. I said there was still snow on the ground, maybe in piles where it was excavated. There was very little, but there was still snow on the ground.
You indicated that you obviously looked around the area. You talked about the general area. I think you used the word general vicinity, right? When
Yes.
you collected your items.
Yes?
You didn't see this, and you didn't see the one before it either, did you?
If I saw any of these items, they would have been collected. We did not excavate anything. We simply allowed the thawing and natural recession of the snow to reveal additional items.
When you were there on the 3rd, February 3rd, there was still some snow on the ground, but you did excavate, correct?
Yes, there was a lot of snow on the ground. Yes,
By February 4th, that snow was dissipating some, correct?
it was, yes.
And you were excavating through that as well, correct?
On the 4th?
On the 4th?
No, we did not excavate on the 4th.
You didn't.
The item revealed itself, and I collected it.
That was it. Okay, fair enough. Then on the 10th, you didn't need to do any more excavating because there was, quote unquote, in your words, very little snow. Very little. Right.
Those were my words.
Okay.
Compared to the first day, there was very little snow on the ground.
And in fact, you did not see any of the items that were collected or claimed to have been collected at 34 Fairview by Michael Proctor on February 11th, the day after you were there, correct? Did not see that item?
Did not see that item, no.
And did not see any of the items that you've seen that were claimed to have been collected by Michael Proctor on February 18th, a week later, correct?
Those items were not observed by me, or else I would have collected them.
I want to change gears for a second, Sergeant, if it's okay with you, and switch to the Waterfall Bar and Grill. You indicated that on direct examination, you reviewed video evidence and you had information that John O'Keefe and Karen Reed arrived at the Waterfall after leaving C.F. McCarthy's, correct?
That is correct.
I'd like to ask you about who your investigation revealed was there at the Waterfall when they arrived. What about Brian Higgins?
Yes, the investigation revealed Brian Higgins was at the Waterfall at their arrival.
And you learned that John O'Keefe and Karen Reed arrived at the Waterfall together, not separately, correct?
That is correct.
About what time did, according to your investigation, Mr. O'Keefe and Ms. Reed arrive at the Waterfall?
I believe it was 11:03, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
When they walked in, you've reviewed the video, correct?
Yes, we played it yesterday, yes.
When they walked in, Brian Higgins was already situated in the Waterfall, standing or sitting at a sort of a high top bar table, correct?
Brian Higgins was present. I don't know his exact location. The video would depict it.
You did learn that Brian Higgins, on January 29th, January 28th, going into January 29th, 2022, had what could be generally referred to as a romantic interest in Ms. Reed?
Objection.
Sustained.
Did you receive certain text messages from Brian Higgins during the course of your investigation?
I received extraction of his text messages. I did not receive any text messages.
Did you actually receive an extraction from his phone, or was it simply text messages that he supplied to you on his own?
It was extraction of text messages on a CD and also printed out the same document.
Did you perform that extraction, or was that extraction performed at your request by Massachusetts State Police from his phone?
It was not performed by me, and it was not performed at my request.
Okay. So in fact, when you met with Brian Higgins, he simply provided you something that he said had been extracted from his phone.
Objection. Sustained.
Did he provide you something?
Yes.
Did Brian Higgins indicate that he had taken those off of his phone?
Objection.
Sustained.
what was your understanding about what the items were, the pages of text messages that you received? What was your understanding about where they came from?
From his device and his communications with the defendant and Mr. John O'Keefe.
But you did not have a forensic extraction performed, correct?
That's correct.
And Brian Higgins never gave you his phone to perform a forensic extraction, correct?
That's correct.
So the items that you received were directly from him and him alone. Is that right?
He handed me the items. I don't know who else was involved. You said him alone. He handed me the items.
That's what I mean. You reviewed those text messages back and forth, correct?
It's been some time, but yes, I had.
And those purported to be, I think you already said, those purported to be two strings, I'm going to call them strings of texts. Some string text messages between Brian Higgins and John O'Keefe, correct?
Yes.
And some string text messages between Brian Higgins and Karen Reed, correct?
Yes.
Would you describe the text messages between Brian Higgins and Karen Reed that he presented to you as flirtatious in nature?
Without having recently reviewed them in detail, I don't want to label it something without having complete understanding of the content. I'm not comfortable putting a label on something.
Well, how would you describe them? I mean, were these business texts?
No, these were, friendly communications. I don't want to put a label on it. They were communication between acquaintances or people that know each other. There was text message communication. As far as flirtations, I would have to take a look at the content of it for certain terms that would support that label.
Well, do you remember a text message exchange about a kiss that was shared?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you remember any text message between the two of them that suggested a romantic interest, either one of them may have had, based on the text messages?
Objection.
Sustained.
May we approach your Honor?
Yes.